I was rolling up brothels in Australia years ago, and the various the places that have legalized prostitution. The one I started in makes it illegal. What can go wrong will go wrong. And if your boards were candid with you, honest with you, most of your board members are poor. Got a lot of initials after their name, but they're poor. Once in a while, you trick fuck somebody that's worth 100 or 200 million, but for the most part, and that's, you trick fuck them because they're bored. They're tired of looking at their old fat wife that looks like a Volkswagen. That's, Ben Carson or Ben Carson lookalikes are not going to be on your board. The former Speaker of the House of the United States Congress, Pena, he should have been inundated with opportunity. He should have had at least 1,000 QLA monkeys after him. Zero. How's that possible? Dan, what's your second favorite word? Cunt. I would have been sleeping in his garage, tackle him down, get past security. I got through to the CEO of TWA back in the day. I found out where he lived, and I parked my rental car, and I drove my own rental car in those days, at the bottom of the big hill that he went up to his mansion. Hill. And I first went and knocked on the door, and I said, Mr. So-and-so, you don't know me, but I have a kind of an appointment with your husband. James never makes appointments like that. But come on and have a cup of coffee. So about 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting there, and it's not right for me to be sitting in her house at 2 o'clock. I said, I'll wait in my car. It's all right. Oh, no. Here, take a blanket, take a pillow. So I parked the car. It's about 3/4 of a mile down the hill, and I'm there. And I go, boom, boom. I'm an ex-wrestler from University of Utah, I think. And he's pounding on my window, and electric window. Who the fuck are you? Anyway, for about 5 minutes, I'm talking my way out of it. And I sold him. I like that grit. I like that tenacity. I'd be all over that Speaker of the House like stink on shit. Same way I got the head of the Onassis group. Same way I got the head of the Ford Foundation. You're not willing to be embarrassed enough. Well, some of you aren't willing to be embarrassed at all. You see the difference? And then, of course, on the other side, I tell you, 3 of my kids got arrested for stalking or whatever they call it. But just because you got to have not just the chutzpah to knock on the door, you got to have the line of bullshit to be able to talk your way not into jail, but out of jail. And that's what the communication skills, and virtually hardly anybody that's ever come to the seminar has had the level of communication skills. I'm still going to maintain my chairmanships. Don't have a heart attack, sweet pea. I'm still going to maintain my chairmanship. But because the kids are getting worse. And I have no reason to tell you this. We're booked out till, I could get seminars till I'm 109. But there's a lacking in the DNA that I don't believe was an act of serendipity. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. So that makes it better and better and better for each and every one of you limp dicks and saggy tits. Because there's no competition. Zero. And if you're not having success, you're not making enough calls. And if you are making enough calls, I'd like to say 50 calls. I'd love to say that. I'd be a liar, just like all the other guys. But when you succeed at this, you can succeed at anything. This is takes more work than a gold medal in the 100-yard dash in the Olympics. It takes more work than you can imagine. Some of you have put in some genuine hours in. But there's a difference between putting hours in and putting the right hours in. Practice doesn't make a champion. Perfect practice Perfect practice makes a champion. Now, I'm going to say it again for about the 50th time. And even though you say you understand why we don't want the real estate, I'm going to repeat it again. Rarely in my almost 3-year career have I seen free cash flow to be able to cover the income producing asset and the property included. Most often you see it with dental practices, chiropractors, dentists, whatever. It just doesn't. The guy that's picking your teeth or, cracking your back is the income producer. The building doesn't have a fucking thing to do with it. And rarely, although banks at all want a loan where they have the most security, not the best deal for you. They want the most security, i.e., they want to get their arms around the bill. So that's why. But a good many of the business broker contracts say the following. Down in the shit part you don't read is that if it sells within 1 year of the cancellation of that contract, you still owe them money. Some go up to 5 years. You still owe them money. And it's missed by 70 or 80% of the people. And then all of a sudden, they come in and put an estoppel or they freeze the deal in the middle to fuck it up. And if they go to a court, and if there's reasonable doubt, the court will do an adjudication in their favor. So go back and check the contract that you signed and see if there's any way that they can, the broker can go in and stick his foot in the deal and keep it from closing. Now, having been a private equity guy myself for 10 years, they get hundreds, thousands of deals a year. If this came across my desk, well, none of your deals would ever get past the trash bin. Okay? And I hate to blow smoke up Tremaine's ass, except for his. These would not stand the test of time. There are too many. They describe, there's various descriptions for deals. Their deal's too hairy. It's got too much. If it's fuzzy, that means it's got short hair. Maybe it's fixable. If it's too hairy, we used to have responses. We were in the fax. We did faxes in those days. And if you got back from me a face of a guy, a hairy gorilla with a beard, that was no. That means there's too many things to fix. And when there's too many things to fix, you can always make money back, but you can't make time back. And back in the roaring 80s, and I'm proud to say I was part of the group that ripped the fucking guts out of the financial world. Okay? If you spent more than 10 minutes on a deal like that, you were losing money. If it had any hair whatsoever, if it had any litigation whatsoever, there's too many deals. There's too many good-looking girls that don't wear panties and wear short miniskirts. There's just too many. That's as vulgar as I can make it. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Just because you haven't fucking done it yet doesn't mean it can't be done. That's where we are. The world's on its fucking knees, waiting for us to fuck them. What the fuck are you waiting for? One day, I've said this a long time, 30 years. There's nothing like, and I was young then, there's nothing like a motivated woman. You got to we're talking about sex. And I've had the pleasure, thank you, Allah, of experiencing some motivated women. Once you've been with a motivated woman, all the rest is horseshit. And I told you the story. The day before I'm going to the army, my dad decides to bond again. He takes me out to dinner. Or after dinner, we're shooting some pool. And we're sitting at a bar, and the famous bar in the valley. And my dad's here, I'm here, and at the end of the bar, around the corner, there's an attractive woman. Older, I'm 20, older woman. She was in her middle 40s. So she sends a drink down with a note underneath it. And the note, my dad says no, and sends the drink back. 2 drinks later, the note, then he shows me, can I borrow your son for the night? And so, me not trying to get too excited. And so he sends the note back, yeah. But I'm the one driving. So my dad said he'd take a cab. No. Like the flash, I get him home and I'm back. And by the grace of Allah, she's still there. Got 2, 3 more drinks in her. That was the first motivated woman I ever experienced. I know the difference. So my benchmarks are high. I didn't get that saying that they could suck the crumb off a trailer hitch. I just didn't make that up. You have not seen a motivated seller yet, and you're still in the right industry. You'll know when you get a phone call, 7 o'clock, New Year's Eve. Dan, this is Jack, blah, blah, blah. I need to sell so-and-so. Can you do me a favor and buy it? We can do it over the fax machine. I said, sure, Jack. I didn't ask what was for sale. When I went to check the assets in London, I had more money in the bank account than I paid for the building and the whole company. And I got the father of the North Sea, Bob Dyke, as a board member. That's motivation. No even reasonably facsimile of that has happened to anybody in this room. Because you're not turning enough rocks over, kissing frogs.